Good morning, boys and girls. Today's lesson is about safety. What does it mean? What does safety mean? What does it mean to be safe? Lately, we've been talking a lot about washing our hands and doing that will help us not get sick. That is one way we can keep ourselves safe from being sick, is when we wash our hands. But there's lots of things and rules that we have that are there to keep us safe, like rules at school. Madam Colleen would always say, no running. And running is a rule because we want you to be safe. We don't want you to fall down and get hurt. So we say, no running. That is a safety rule. So we're going to read a story today about different safety rules. Today's story about safety is called Officer Buckle and Gloria, and the author is Peggy Rathman. Officer Buckle and Gloria. Officer Buckle knew more safety tips than anyone else in Knappville. Every time he thought of a new one, he thumbtacked it to his bulletin board. Safety tip number 77, never stand on a swivel chair. Officer Buckle shared his tips with the students at Knappville School, but nobody ever listened. Sometimes there was even snoring. Afterward, it was business as usual. Mrs. Topple, the principal, took down the welcome banner. Never stand on a swivel chair, said Officer Buckle, but Mrs. Topple didn't hear him. Then one day, Knappville's police department bought a police dog named Gloria. When it was time for Officer Buckle to give the safety speech at school, Gloria went along. Children, this is Gloria, announced Officer Buckle. Gloria obeys my commands. Gloria, sit. And Gloria sat. Officer Buckle gave safety tip number 1. Keep your shoelaces tied. The children sat up and stared. Look at Gloria. Officer Buckle checked to see if Gloria was sitting at attention, and she was. Safety tip number 2, said Officer Buckle. Always wipe up spills before someone slips and falls. And the children's eyes popped. Officer Buckle checked Gloria again. Good dog, he said. Officer Buckle thought of a safety tip he had discovered that morning. Never leave a thumbtack where you might sit on it. And the audience roared. Officer Buckle grinned. He said the rest of the tips with plenty of expression. The children clapped their hands and cheered. Some of them laughed until they cried. Officer Buckle was surprised. He had never noticed how funny safety tips could be. And after this safety speech, there wasn't a single accident. The next day, an enormous envelope arrived at the police station. It was stuffed with thank you letters from the students at Knappville School. Every letter had a drawing of Gloria on it. Officer Buckle thought the drawings showed a lot of imagination. Dear Gloria and Officer Buckle, thanks for coming to our school. You are nice. Your friend, George. His favorite letter was written on a star-shaped piece of paper, and it said, You and Gloria make a good team. Your friend, Claire. P.S. I always wear a crash helmet. Safety tip number 7. Officer Buckle was thumbtacking Claire's letters to his bulletin board when the phones started ringing. Grade schools, high schools, and daycare centers were calling about the safety speech. Officer Buckle, they said, our students want to hear your safety tips, and please bring along that police dog. Officer Buckle told his safety tips to 313 schools. Everywhere he and Gloria went, children sat up and listened. After every speech, Officer Buckle and Gloria went out for ice cream. Officer Buckle loved having a buddy. Then, one day, a television news team videotaped Officer Buckle in the State College auditorium. When he finished safety tip number 99, do not go swimming during electrical storms, the students jumped to their feet and applauded. Bravo! Bravo! They cheered, and Officer Buckle bowed again and again. That night, Officer Buckle watched himself on the 10 o'clock news. The next day, the principal of Knappville School telephoned the police station. "Good morning, Officer Buckle. It's time for our safety speech." Officer Buckle frowned. "I'm not giving any more speeches. Nobody looks at me anyway." "Oh," said Mrs. Topple. "Well, how about Gloria? Can she come?" Someone else from the police station gave Gloria a ride to the school. Gloria sat on stage looking lonely, and then she just fell asleep, and so did the audience. After Gloria left, Knappville School had its biggest accident ever. It started with a puddle of banana pudding. Splat, splatter, sploosh. Everyone slid smack into Mrs. Topple, who screamed and let go of her hammer. The next morning, a pile of letters arrived at the police station. Every letter had a drawing of the accident. Officer Buckle was shocked. At the bottom of the pile was a note written on a paper star. Officer Buckle smiled. The note said, "Gloria missed you yesterday. Your friend Claire. P.S. Don't worry, I was wearing my helmet. Safety tip number 77. Safety tip number 7. Gloria gave Officer Buckle a big kiss on the nose. Officer Buckle gave Gloria a nice pat on the back. Then Officer Buckle thought of his best safety tip yet. Safety tip number 101. Always stick with your buddy. The end. And here at the back of the story, we have a lot of safety tips, like never fly kites near power lines, never take other people's medicine, never play loud music into headphones, look both ways before you cross the street, never eat raw hamburger, never give information over the phone to strangers, check how deep the water is before you dive, never leave a bar of soap where someone might step on it, never play alone in the car, stay away from guns, stay away from cigarettes, keep shoes and a flashlight under your bed, never put anything in your nose, and buckle your seatbelt. I hope you enjoyed that story about safety. And so now what I want you to do is think of a rule or a safety tip that keeps us safe. There were lots of examples in this book. So think of a rule that keeps us safe, and I want you to draw a picture. And if you're in class PP, then you can have your mom or dad write the safety tip that you think of on the piece of paper. And if you're in class 1, your parents can help you write the sentence of what your safety rule is on that piece of paper. But I want you to write it if you're in class 1. And if you're in PP, then your mom or dad can write the safety rule. Okay, so boys and girls, thank you so much for joining us today about today's lesson about safety. And I hope that you remember some good rules that keep us safe. Bye-bye and have a good day.